Back in the old days of Texas road tripping, you'd drive into a new little town and see the church, the grocery store run by a local merchant, and of course the little red schoolhouse. Now it's mega churches, chain grocery stores, and schools. Well, let's just not even go there. Instead, let's go here. We found a little red schoolhouse in Dallas, and it's run by an amazing Texan by the name of June Campbell, Campbell Christian Academy.
We start them as early as 3 years old, and we have loads and loads and loads of 3-year-olds reading.
June is a career teacher.
When I first started teaching, I saw, even then, that the kids could not read well, they couldn't write.
She noticed the same problem in another subject as well.
I also noticed that in the math classes, the children were having so much trouble with math because they didn't have the basics.
But what is the problem?
I began to realize that it really wasn't these kids' fault. It was because they were being passed from grade to grade to grade and never having mastered anything. In fact, they had never been taught how to learn.
So June knew she could at least help her own kids.
So I taught the kids at home in the evenings and on the weekends.
Teach your children well.
June retired from teaching and never planned on stepping foot in another classroom, but God had different plans for her.
Well, as the Lord had it providentially planned, we moved from one house to another that year, and my husband and our 2 children, Jeremy and Kelly, were in the front yard when the moving van came.
June's then 3-year-old daughter, Kelly, picked up the newspaper in the front yard and started reading it right in front of the new neighbor. And it began.
The lady went home and she told her friends, and they told their friends, and they told their friends, and by the end of the week, I had about half a dozen students.
But it wasn't time for the little red schoolhouse quite yet, though.
I just taught them around the table with our kids, just an hour, 2 times a week.
Yep, you heard her right. 1 hour, twice a week.
Well, the parents started saying, wow, they're learning more in 2 hours a week with you than our other children are learning 40-hour weeks at the local schools, private and public.
So the little red schoolhouse was built on Villa Road in Dallas.
In the little red schoolhouse with my book and slate.
Campbell Christian Academy became in existence. It wasn't something that I had planned, and that was in 1984, and I've now taught about 10,000 children how to read and do math.
You might be asking yourself, does this way of teaching make a difference in the long run? Well,
When Kelly was 14, I took her to the community college, and she got 60 hours of A's at the community college. Then SMU gave her a full academic scholarship for her junior and senior year, and she graduated cum laude from the Cox School of Business.
Remember the days of the old schoolyard.
Kelly came back to teach math alongside her mother at Campbell Christian Academy.
As soon as they know their math facts, and they know their math facts really, really well, then we just jump straight into adding double digits plus single digits.
So maybe Kelly was just a fluke or a genius.
Our son, Jeremy, started college at 16.
Jeremy has gone on to be a C-130 pilot in the U.S. Marines and is deployed overseas. Over the years, June developed this teaching formula into a book.
Since I had learned to read by phonics, I wrote down what I did as I went along. As years went on, I added to it and tweaked it and changed it, actually up to 3 years ago when I published Pure Phonics.
Yes, you can buy Pure Phonics for your children.
It's also selling worldwide now. It's on iBooks, it's on Amazon, it's everywhere.
And like mother, like daughter.
I have written my own math book. It's not published yet, it's in the making, but we start at square one with adding, and I've got it to where you can go all the way up to beginning algebra.
This learning process starts much earlier than public school does.
We start them as early as 3 years old, and we have loads and loads and loads of 3-year-olds reading.
You'll find no computers or electronic tablets in this little one-room schoolhouse.
But when we take all the stress away and all the, push towards all the assessment tests and standardized testing, we stop and we say, okay, let's go back and let's get what you're supposed to have learned years ago and lay a good foundation. And then when your foundation is strong, your house is strong, and you can build on it very, very well.
The website is CampbellChristianAcademy.com. On the road to higher and simpler learning, we are Texas Road Trippin'.